Well, I started making some bike packing upgrades. The obvious starting place is a set of Pannier Bags so I can move the weight off of my back and onto the bike. And the ones I went with weren't anything fancy. They're fairly cheap. Bought them off Amazon, a total of 50 liters capacity. This was probably the most important upgrade to start out with because by moving all that weight off of my back, unlike my old e-bike, which sat a little lower and was a little bit more comfortable to ride with a full backpacking ruck on, my new e-bike is a full-size bike, and trying to swing my legs up and over and ride that thing with a full ruck of gear just wasn't happening. And the reason I settled on this one specifically is, aside from having large enough capacity, it also has straps on the top big enough to accommodate any sleeping bag I own, up to and including my absolutely massive 12-pound deep winter sleeping bag. And I really like these Pannier bags because the main compartments are really large. They're wide and can accommodate pretty much anything I want to put in there without really being size constrained. But on the downside, the only way that the main compartment closes is with a Velcro strap around the outside, which I'm sure is going to get worn out real fast, and also just a single pair of buckles on each side. So that kind of limits me what I can put in there. I'm not going to put anything small in there towards the top because it's very easy for that to bounce out. And then if I don't notice, I'm kilometers down the trail and it's gone. Thankfully though, for small stuff like that, there is two zippered compartments on each side, one facing the rear and one facing the side for all of my little stuff like fire starting tools, cutlery. I did take the bike out for a ride with all of my gear in it, and even when I was bouncing down some frozen snowy trails, everything stayed in place, nothing came detached, so I think I'm happy with how it is. I just gotta keep an eye on these straps. That's the only loose hanging item that will get stuck in the wheels. The Pannier bag is actually one solid unit, so I could grab the handle, take it off of the bike, and carry it inside, which makes it really easy if I need to go in somewhere for an extended period of time and I don't feel comfortable leaving it attached to my bike outside. Because they're so wide and stick out so far from the side of the bike, I was actually worried that it would catch on branches and stuff like that if I have to take the bike down a particularly overgrown trail. I'm also concerned about range because having these big blunt bags out on the side, that's gonna be a lot of drag. Definitely not aero, bro. And I guess I'm also concerned about durability because after all, these were very cheap. So I don't have the highest confidence that they will hold themselves together when being beaten up on trail. Bike packing is definitely a completely different experience than skate packing because taking all that weight off on my back certainly makes riding a lot less taxing. With a skateboard, you don't have anywhere to stick gear, so you have to wear it on your back, and riding a skateboard down trail for miles takes a lot out of you. Whereas with the bike, it is really easy to eat up kilometers on this thing. So this is stage one. There's more upgrades to do, obviously. I actually did buy a phone mount for the handlebars when I bought the Pannier bags. Unfortunately, it's a cheap piece of shit and it broke when I was trying to mount it, so I gotta return that. So if you have any suggestions for a good one that's not garbage, please let me know. I also need to sort out how to hold my water. The pouches on the side suck, and I don't have anywhere in that configuration to really store my water right now. I also need to figure out where to store e-bike specific stuff like my charger, spare inner tubes, and tools to change them out. And for that, I'm thinking a front bar bag. That'll be where I store all of that stuff. And the last thing is obviously I need a really good bike lock. I mean, me and you both know that this e-bike is a piece of crap, not the best build quality, but to your average crackhead on the street, it probably looks like a Rolls Royce, so I want to get something really good to deter people from trying to steal it. So that's my starting setup. I mean, I know it's not anything amazing, but it should at least get me going. Let me know what you think. Is there anything I'm missing? Anything you would want me to change on this? And one last thing before I go, if you don't follow me on X, I highly recommend it. Not only do I talk all things Mike in the Woods, but I also have a few side projects going on, like a novel I'm writing and a game I'm starting to build. So come check me out on there if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video.